you're doing a lot of important work and a lot of work that is a lot of heavy lifting of what you're doing in the EU. Espedito, I'd love to start kicking off with this. How is the EU approaching semi-autonomous driving, so SAE level 2, and eventually how is that going to change as you move to full autonomous, known as SAE level 4, from a regulatory perspective?
Yeah, I would say, Grayson, that Europe is approaching, this technology, semi-autonomous vehicle, as also, full autonomous vehicle, in a sort of stepwise approach. What I mean with that, let me start with an example. Basically, what we are trying to do is to balance the innovation from one side with the safety and other societal aspect. For doing that, we made different steps. The first step that I would like to emphasize is the European Regulation 2019 of the 2019 2144, that is the General Safety Regulation, for which Europe is already requiring some assisted system, like the emergency braking. But this regulation is important also for another aspect, because it created the legal basis for fully automated vehicle, what you were mentioning as a level 4 system. In fact, from the 2022, we have in Europe the first worldwide regulation for the approval of such system. So for fully automated system, level 4 system, even though I have to mention that there are some limitations, because this regulation is only covering 3 use cases: what we can call automated valet parking system, so system that allow autonomously to park; hub to hub, so autonomous system that will move from point A to point B in a fixed route, basically; and then robotaxi, so autonomous system that can operate in a predefined area. And the second important aspect to mention regarding this regulation is that has some limitation. The most important limitation is about, the small series. Manufacturer that get an approval can only produce in small series, so up to 1,500 vehicles per year. This is one limitation. In addition to that, there are 2 aspects that I would like to mention briefly. One is that Europe is also working at international level, UN level, United Nations level, in order to ensure an harmonized approach on this system. And this is why Europe made a good contribution for the drafting of the regulation, a sort of level 3 system, let me call, that is automated lane keeping system, and also for level 2 system, what we call DCAS, driver control assisted system. And now we are working together. Together means worldwide, with contracting parties, with the countries that apply the same certification regime that have approval, but also with the self-certification countries like US, in order to have one single regulation, or at least I would say an harmonized regulation for automated driving systems, so level 3 and level 4. And this is what we aim to achieve by 2026, the mid of 2026, to have this regulation that will be worldwide applicable and will allow also fair competition. The last point to mention is that Europe, even though at the European level, as European Commission, we do not have the mandate, we are trying also to support the member state for the deployment. So in particular, to cover the national legislation like liability or like, I will say, testing and also traffic rules, in order to ensure an harmonized approach among the member states that will ensure the scaling up of such technology.
You mentioned parking, and if we see a lot of the auto manufacturers in Germany, the tier 1 suppliers in Germany over the years have put out public videos of demonstrating automated parking and developing that technology in the member state, Germany. What input do the private sector, the companies developing this technology, developing the driving systems, what input have they shared with you in the Joint Research Center as you're working to develop these regulations?
We are quite proud of this, let's say, trinity of working together, or the regulators, manufacturers, and member states, and of course the European Commission Joint Research Center. Maybe just a brief introduction of our institution. So the Joint Research Center is part of the European Commission, so it's, let's say, part of the government. But we don't have, let's say, any policy-making agenda. We are independent of any commercial or international or national interest. but we do pre-normative research. I can explain it a little bit later, but also through this pre-normative research, the ingenuity to support policy. So we try to apply innovative approaches, try to understand the scientific and technical background and foundations of these technologies, and trying to give, let's say, harmonized and technology agnostic, repeatable and reproducible testing procedures, and then how we support policy making. So we are not, let's say, even though in our title there is also official and manager and whatever, but we are still scientists and engineers operating labs, performing tests, and evaluating data. Big data is also sometimes. And so to go back to the original question, how this regulation or how this development is working. So one side we have European legislations, and it can be easier, even though we are just 27 member states in that sense, but still it can be challenging to harmonize all the different aspects and interests of the member states. But that's why I mentioned we are scientists and engineers. So I strongly believe, and it's a good experience as well, that based on facts and based on evidences and based on research data, so hard data, not just like concepts, but hard measurement data, I think we have a better chance to find common grounds and to find a good, minimum safety level or minimum safety requirements which can fulfill both innovation, as Espedito mentioned before, and also to protect citizens and other interests on the roads.